Iwa. Otab leget yo. Kubocho leboch. Kalen jingo mugulu. Ijo mok. Damakwe.
Pertinent.
Ajamea nego tab leget yo.
Wisdom.
I want to take this opportunity to welcome all of us to the 8th Congress, which is organized by the Forum for the Constitutional and Independent Officers. We thank you and also thank the Almighty God for enabling us to meet here this morning. The 8th Congress presents another crucial platform for all of us to reflect on gains made, challenges encountered, and the way forward in pursuit of the values and ideals embedded in our Constitution.
To the people of Kericho, these commissions are here to listen to you on how service delivery is being implemented in Kericho. Please feel free to interact with them, tell them where we failed as a government of Kericho, tell them what needs to be improved, and where we've done well, please tell them that we've also done well in those aspects.
Today we come to Kericho as constitutional commissions and independent offices established or envisaged under our Constitution, and encourage all of us to use this forum in exchanging our ideas in the way we are going to serve the people of Kenya.
But we built the theme of the Congress around our mandate, and that is why this year we selected the theme, promoting accountability and access to quality public services. We believe that in spite of everything we do should be reflected in quality public services. And until you can feel it, until you can see enhancements in service delivery, then we are not exactly where we ought to be.
These agencies undertake the mandate either through oversight over management of public affairs or performance of the notable milestones that we have.
We want to walk away with proposals and recommendations on how we can serve you better.
Welcome, Your Excellency, the Deputy President.
Thank you very much. It is my profound pleasure to join you today on this occasion of the 8th Annual Congress of the Forum of Chairpersons of Constitutional Officers, Constitutional Commissions and Independent Officers. The Constitution of Kenya 2010 reconstituted the Kenyan state, reinvigorated governance institutions and processes, introduced a second tier of government, expanded the Bill of Rights, codified and exemplified fundamental values and principles, and created an elaborate system of checks and balances to drive both the spirit and the letter of the new constitution. Your constitutional commissions and independent offices established under Chapter 15 of the Constitution are an important aspect of that constitutional architecture. This forum and other similar engagements, both formal and informal, accord you, other government agencies, stakeholders, and the people of Kenya with an opportunity to appraise the performance and strategic direction of your institutions individually as well as collectively. The overriding purpose of such appraisal is not to blame one another, but rather to give credit where credit is due, while at the same time encouraging better performance and results in any areas where your commission may have fallen short of the expectations and aspirations of the Kenyan people as codified in the Constitution. Ladies and gentlemen, we recognize the contribution of the independent commissions in fostering our democratic growth. Various commissions have been very instrumental in guiding the implementation of Chapter 11 of the Constitution. The successful implementation of the devolved system of government is as a result of your timeless work. For this, I, on behalf of the national government, would like to appreciate your immense efforts and contribution in this regard. It is through collaborative effort that we shall continue to build strong democratic institutions that can contribute and continue to withstand the test of time. Constitutional commissions and independent offices are therefore very much part of Government of Kenya and an integral part of the operations and processes of the government as it seeks to deliver exemplary service to Kenyans. Ladies and gentlemen, as I conclude, I wish to remind all of us here that we have offered ourselves as leaders and servants of Kenya. We are called upon to live a life of service, sacrifice, dedication to duty, and fidelity to the law. Each commission and office is a vital brick in the towering edifice of the better Kenya which we are building.
We have the forum that we call the Forum for Constitutional Commissions and Independent Offices. The Constitutional Commissions are the Chapter 15 commissions.
Chapter 15 of the Constitution provided for 15 constitutional commissions and independent offices and required Parliament to enact legislation to operationalize these commissions. It was the responsibility of the CIC, the Office of the Attorney General, and the Kenya Law Reform Commission to develop these legislations, pieces of legislation that were required to operationalize the Constitution. So we worked on all the statutes that set up these commissions.
But we also have independent offices which are not in Chapter 15, but are also independent. We have the Controller of Budget, we have the Auditor General.
The Media Council is really one of them. If you look at the law that set up the Media Council, Article 34(5) speaks that the Media Council will be independent of government, commercial, or media. So we are talking about a forum of independent offices, and the Media Council, the Constitution says that it is independent.
But in the fold, we have invited others that are also not necessarily independent offices, but we operate sort of in the same ecosystem. Here we have the Independent Police Oversighting Authority. They are not a Chapter 15 commission per se, but they're independent and they're part of the fold. We also invite the Attorney General, because that's also an independent office. And we also have, recently, sometimes we incorporate the Intergovernmental Technical Relations Committee, not a commission, but they're structured very much like us. It's just that they're not fully independent. So that's who we are, the Constitutional Commissions. We use this as a platform where we get together to articulate issues that concern us. The annual Congress for us is very, very important. Our Congress starts with the public forum. It is a day when we invite all members of the public to come and engage with us.
A lot of the time, people don't understand what commissions do. So being here helps us to just understand what is happening in the counties, but also for them to understand what we do. And that way, they will be able to be the citizens on the ground on our behalf who can tell us what is happening and helps to improve what we do.
It's important for us to join the other constitutional commissions so that we can strengthen each other and get modes of referring our problems to each other. When I say problems, is when we are performing our mandate.
I remember recently listening to the radio when we had the Division of Revenue stalemate. And I remember someone calling in on radio saying, you mean there's a CRA, there's an SRC, why can't they be merged? So you can imagine, this is what, almost the 9th year since the Constitution was formed, and people don't know there's a CRA and there's a SRC, what do they do? So we use the public forum to tell the public who we are, what we do, and they give us feedback. The way we do the Congress is we rotate around the country. So far, this is the 8th Congress. The first one, I think, was in the coast. I think they went to Kwale. They had another one in North Rift. We've been to Central. We've been to North Rift. We've been to Eastern. So we thought it's time for South Rift. And when we think about the counties in the South Rift, we thought Kericho is a place where we are likely to get accommodation. And we sort of came out scouting to see, would we get accommodation? Are there exciting programs to see? And I think after our first meeting with the county commissioner, with the governor, we were convinced, yes, this is a good place to come. There's a positive story to tell with regard to the theme of our Congress, because this year we selected the theme, promoting accountability to enhance quality public services.
For the county government of Kericho, we have worked with almost all the constitutional offices in this country, and we are serving our second term now, and since 2013 they have been able to unlock for us a lot of bottlenecks that we may have had. They've been able to advise us, they've been able to work with us, so we appreciate the fact that the Constitution says that we exist in a spirit of consultation and cooperation with the national government. So to see them in real, to see the people that we always see on TV here debating with the public has been such a pleasure.
This session is largely to provide an opportunity for these panelists to sensitize us all, especially the general public, but also to provide yourselves an opportunity to engage them by asking pertinent questions, but must be related to the mandates for which they are going to articulate in a short while, in terms of what they do and what you expect them to do.
Kama an advocate amekuwa promoted kuwa judge, naomba asikubaliwe tena kuwa na law firm, kwa sababu hapo ndio corruption mbaya ndio iko huko.
Ni kweli mtu akipata kazi ya hakimu anafaa ajiondoe kwa masuala yote yanayohusiana na the running of an advocate's office. Hiyo nakubaliana na wewe, na pia mjue mimi ni wakili, so mambo hayo nayaelewa. Hiyo ni swala ambayo inahusiana na chapter 6 ya Constitution ya integrity, na ni jambo pia ambalo linahusishwa na Judicial Service Commission na Law Society of Kenya. Hizo ndizo taasisi ambazo zinafaa kushughulikia jambo hilo.
In Kenya, we have got people who are permanently squatters. In Kericho, we have the people called Laibons or Talai clan. Paka leo, it's good that the Vice President is here, is hearing. Mpaka tangu tuanze uhuru, tangu wazungu wafunge hiyo watu, hawajapata pale ya kwenda. We don't know whether we are in Kenya or we are squattering where.
We also have professional squatters, people who squat from place to place. Once they've been sorted out, they go squatting to another place. But this issue of Talai clan, maybe I would like to talk to him in private so that he can give me the details, please. Thank you.
As a primary law reform agency in this country, is there any gap in the law that you have identified which prevents this country from achieving transparency and accountability, especially with the current issues of corruption?
The evolution of law and the development of policy are a circular and infinite process which we are engaged in permanently. So there's no way of quantifying which law or at which point we dealt with a matter of integrity. All I want to say is that every law that we make and every policy that we develop has to have a component of integrity and good governance imbued in it.
The IPOA team or the IPOA commission, what is the exact status of the Kericho police station and what are your plans to see that their housing are in good position?
I would want to imagine Kericho police station is an old police station because I see it like majority of our police stations. They were constructed a long time ago when populations were still small. So you find the spaces, including detention facilities, are small. And that's why the government is working hard to establish a model police station which will then be rolled out countrywide as a government policy. On housing, the reason IPOA took up this issue and made recommendation on reforms on housing is because majority of the housing premises for the police were not in what we would call very good status. The policy has already been passed by the government. It's been rolled out. We are currently carrying out research to find out how successfully it has been done and what the major challenges are, so that if it has not succeeded, then we'll have a basis of making further improvements on the general government policy on police housing.
Madam Honorable Kajuju, the Ombudsman is the refuge of citizens who feel aggrieved by poor public service delivery. So we want to know, to what extent has your commission lived up to the slogan, Hata Mnyonge Ana Haki?
We oversight the national government and the county governments and the public servants. You as a citizen might be a public servant also employed, but the bosses decide to sack you without giving you an opportunity to be able to plead your case or to defend yourself. Because it is expensive to go to court, we the Ombudsman don't tell you to go to court. You come to us, we engage the person who has aggrieved you, the public servant who has aggrieved you, and we make sure either you are reinstated to work or you are compensated for the time that you are supposed to be at work.
Nataka niulize Equality and Gender Commission wako na mikakati gani kuona ya kwamba usawa katika wakilishi katika counties baka national assembly baka senate kuwa imewekwa sawa, kwa sababu hapa mambo ya uchaguzi ama mambo ya kunominatiwa ni shida kiasi. Mimi ningeomba hivi tupate electoral colleges ili tupate kuchaguana wenyewe kwa wenyewe, ili tupate mwakilishi wetu without appointment or without nominating.
We have made it known in our presentation to BBI that we are supportive of electoral colleges, both at the national level and at the local level, so that the PWDs come together and say these are the people to represent us this year for one term only, then the following year for another. It's not only for PWDs, but also for the youth, for the women. We need those electoral colleges, and I hope this may come up in BBI.
The issue of electoral colleges and elections, for us as a commission, it's not what anybody wants that defines our work and infrastructure. It's about the law. So we follow the law, the constitution and the law, and if the time comes when the law changes, we shall follow it to the letter.
Well, this is my third year in the Congress. I haven't seen us do CSR, but we thought, why not do something to touch people's lives? And again, someone asked, why the prison? And I think what we've heard, someone told us that something like soap in a prison is a luxury. And remember, in prison, particularly a women's prison, there are children who are there simply because their mothers are there. And we thought, wow, just imagine what a life. You're in prison not because you did anything wrong, but you're born by someone who was in prison. And we thought it would be a good way to touch the mothers and the children.
Licha ya changamoto ndogondogo hapa na pale, wafungwa wengi hapa ni wale wa pombe na wanatoka surrounding area. Wamama wako na watoto, wakiwa ni hao wa kitambo pia, na wamama wako na watoto. So wakiwa hapa mali gerezani, sisi hatutaki kuangalia kifungo, tunaangalia kwanza usalama wake na mtoto wake, na tuone ya kwamba tukiwa tunamrekebisha lazima tuanze kukua na yeye, naitwa urafiki, ama tumpende jinsi alivyo.
Leo hii tumefika hapa kujumuika nanyi kwa sababu hata nyinyi muna marights.
Sio wenyekiti wote wamefika hapa, niko na wachache. Tulikuwa na programs mingi, tulikuwa na mikakati mingi leo. Wengine walienda hospitali, wengine wakaenda research. Sisi tumetoka Kipkerion Coffee, na tena hii afternoon kuna lectures bahari. Na tumewaletea kitu kidogo, tutaomba muipokee, na nitaita mwenyekiti wa SRC Madam Rim Megich awapatie on our behalf. Madam Rim,
tukipokea hizo zawadi zetu, tuseme shukrani kwa wageni wetu. Bado kuna wageni wetu wengine wanakuja. All visitors are welcome at the podium. Tafadhali tupatie wageni wetu viti.
After every sitting, we've reflected. From what we had in the public forum yesterday, we sort of feel one of the proposals on the table that we'll consider during our closed door session is perhaps instead of doing this annually, we could do regular town halls. And we don't make it complicated or sophisticated. Every quarter we go to a region, do a town hall as chairpersons, bring in just do those round tables and just begin to understand the issues, what's happening on the ground. We give them a platform to speak to us. We could do come in half a morning, have some tea and water, and by lunchtime we are finished. If we could do this quarterly, it would really maybe help us enhance the way or improve the way we do things. Again, using technology, because all of us have limited budgets. No one has as much money as they want in this country. Perhaps it's time for us to innovate and just do things differently.
Almost every commission seems to be going through the inadequacy of the funds that are provided by the government from National Treasury. And because of the competing needs of the nation, it would be unreasonable for any of us to expect to get enough money for their function. So the issue of coming up with innovative strategies of implementing our role, our functions with the little that is available came home very clearly. The use, of course, of technology, that we don't need to move from place to place in this country to check if the teachers are working. No, we can get that information online, right from the school.
It was really gratifying for us to see that devolution is working, that there is a lot happening in this county. I know some of my colleagues went to the hospitals and some went to see a lot of other development. So it was really a testament of the importance of devolution, and that if we can have more money being devolved in terms of releasing money from wage bill, a lot more will happen in the counties.
Mwananchi is the best auditor.
We got a lot of questions from the public, and it was clear that not everybody understands what commissions actually do. So those questions help us to see how best we can engage the public better going forward.
What we need to do, and we have undertaken to assist immediately going forward, is the independent offices and commissions to set up a proper communications and outreach strategy. So it's less about the media not giving them coverage and more about these constitutional commissions and independent offices needing to refine their communications and outreach strategy so that Kenyans understand them. Because the moment whoever you are, the moment what you do has an impact and the people on the ground are interested, then the media will be interested. So however important you are, if you're not impacting many people, you're not showing how you're impacting many people, the media will not notice because we follow numbers. So the moment these commissions and offices bring out their role publicly to the public and the people, the media will eventually notice.
We haven't scratched the surface. We've tried to do outreach, but there is a lot of outreach to be done. There is need to devolve to all the counties
Because of the usual budgetary constraints, we've not been able to get to every county. We are in 8 regions. And those 8 regions cover a huge geographical area. We know we are not very effective, operating from those 8 regions. So what this shows is that there is a need to devolve further. If we can devolve to the county level, then it would be easily accessible in terms of physical proximity. It's important that we have one-on-one interaction because matters policing, sometimes people don't feel secure using other means of communication. They are more secure when they come to our office and the statements are taken in a secure, confidential environment.
I also realized by coming together with others, we can do what I refer to as CSW. That is giving back to the society. And today we were able to give back to the medium level prison in Kericho, where the women are. And for the first time, we have been able to see what is happening to the children there and give them gifts, but more importantly, also address the women so that they don't keep on being on the wrong side of the law, but also to urge the government and other actors to ensure that the rights of the children who find themselves in prison, not because they should be in prison, particularly 0 to 4 years, then should be taken care of.